is looking to strike a new trade deal with the United States. New Delhi is said to be looking for concessions for generic drug exports in exchange for opening its dairy markets and slashing tariffs on American farm goods. Now, India accounts for 40% of US pharmaceutical imports, including the anti-malaria hydroxychloroquine. And that's the drug touted by US President Donald Trump as a potential treatment for COVID-19. Ishan Garg joins us from New Delhi right now. So, Ishan, tell us more about what India is actually proposing here.
India essentially wants three things, Glenda. First of all, India wants to import 24 certain items which the US has banned right now because US thinks that there is a huge involvement of child labor in these products, and they include things like textile and tobacco, which are produced in abundant quantity in India, and India wants to export them. Secondly, we come to the point of fisheries. India wants to import fishes and shrimps to America, but America says that Indian fishing practices do not comply with American laws. And thirdly, a large number of Indian expats working in US have to pay taxes twice, once in the US and secondly when they come back to India. So India is trying to negotiate a deal with the US under which these expats will have to pay taxes only once, and they will be shared between US and India. Now, a lot of other details about this particular deal has not emerged yet, and this is what we understand through experts and sources within the ministry. But what's absolutely not clear at this point is what is America getting out of this deal apart from the dairy product market that you spoke about earlier.
Give us some context then, Ishan. Why is India seeking preferential treatment?
Well, Steve, essentially, America has a program which gives preferential treatment to developing countries, under which these countries are allowed to export huge amounts of goods to America, and America does not charge a single penny on imports. Now, India was on that list of countries which are treated preferentially, but back in March, President Trump kicked India off, saying that India had been unfair to a lot of American companies, and India was charging high import taxes on some very quintessentially, so to speak, American products, for example, the Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And since then, we have seen a policy shift from India trying to woo the US a little bit so as to get back on that list of countries which can be treated preferentially, so that India is able to export more and more to the US. Under that particular program, India will be able to export thousands of goods, and even back when India was on that list, it was exporting close to $5.1 billion worth of goods to the US. And this is particularly important in the light of India and China having a trade war ongoing due to the border relations between these two countries, which is why India is looking not only to secure a preferential deal here, but also hoping that this will turn out to be a free trade agreement with the US down the line.
Ishan Garg speaking to us there from New Delhi. Thanks very much, Ishan.
Across the world are really suffering, of course, at the moment. How are businesses trying to get going or even able to try and start, as many countries, including India and the US, are still right in the middle of the pandemic?
Well, I think both for US and for India, this is a critical time, both because of the changing geopolitical environment as well as the changing geoeconomic environment that they face. And both countries are grappling with massive internal challenges as they try to revive their economy post-pandemic. So clearly there is a sense that the two countries need to engage with each other more, much more strongly than before. And I think the sense that, as you revive your own domestic economies, you need help from other countries. You need help. I think for India, it's imperative that foreign investors start looking at India as a nodal country as the global supply chains get rejigged. And for US, it's very important to look at where countries like India, which will very soon have their growth prospects back in action, how they engage with America. So clearly, the two sides are convergent on their view as to the importance of engaging with each other in reviving the economic sentiment, both domestically as well as bilaterally.
Why is it so important between India and the US specifically, and how do you think they will be able to build that as we come out of the pandemic?
It is important for both because their strategic partnership is maturing. And India being a country that is also widely talked of as a country that will be on the growth trajectory very soon, back after the consequences of pandemic have played themselves out, is an important, it will be an important country for America as it looks away from China to other countries in reviving its economy, in building new supply chains, in sort of shifting the center of gravity away from China. And I think that for that India becomes important. For India, America is very, very important, given that it is one of the largest trading partners, given the scale and size of the American economy, and given the need for India to get the cutting-edge technology from America for it boosting its own Industrial Revolution 4.0. So clearly, as we are looking, as the world is looking at reviving their growth prospects, India and America are looking at each other with great degree of anticipation and with a certain degree of consternation also about the changing economic realities around them. Those realities are changing very fast. We have seen that during the pandemic. We were seeing them before the pandemic. America is turning inwards. India is also talking of greater, self-reliance. So clearly, I think the challenges for both countries are in an environment where countries are looking more and more inwards. How do they integrate themselves more vis-a-vis each other?
Shoib Akhtar joining us there from New Delhi. Thanks very much.